went on to the Piers Morgan show to talk about what happened with Ilan Omar, talking about these protests and what's going on. And boy, listen, he was cooking. I ain't gonna hold you. He was cooking. Some people may disagree, but I think he was cooking. But so we're gonna go ahead and dive into it. Let's go ahead and rock the book out my dog.
Not been harmless, had it been acid or something else, then maybe she could have been very seriously hurt or dead. Now, Brandon, what has concerned me about this is that from Donald Trump, and I think you have intimated this too, there's an immediate position by people on the MAGA right that because you don't like Ilan Omar, that she somehow has staged this, it's not real, it didn't happen the way people think it did, this guy was a plant, and so on. And again, it comes back to what I sense is a complete eradication of basic humanity. There ought to be parameters between left and right where we can just agree when something like that happens, we all say this is terrible and shouldn't be happening.
Piers, there's no jump to conclusion. I don't care about none of these people. They don't pay my bills. I don't have to say anything about Ilan Omar. I don't really care about her. But the bottom line, and Donald Trump don't pay my bills either. But the bottom line is that I'm looking at this impartially. I don't know what anybody said. I saw the video, and it does not look consistent with someone trying to assault another person, which means I have never in my life seen a person get up, spray something out of syringe at someone's chest. It happened to be nothing, inert, and then she comes after him. You didn't see her back away from him. You didn't see her shy away from him. You didn't see any of that
Brandon,
nature.
You would
and
say,
the guy didn't even resist.
Brandon, you would say the complete opposite if that was a Republican congressman.
That's not true.
Brandon, is the guy going to jail just for fun?
That's not true.
Is the guy going to jail just for fun? Is that part of the show? I just want to hear a little bit more about this theory.
Listen,
no, please, just 1 second. There's just a question. I want to hear more about this theory. That guy.
I'm giving you the elements.
Is he going to jail for show? He's going to jail.
I'm giving you elements of why this looks strange to me.
Okay, so why do you think he's going to jail? Is it for a show? Is he like an Antifa? Is this
make sure you like the live? I'm sorry, my bad, y'all. What I was saying was I already saw. I said send the link. I read all your messages, Seven Gator. If you want me to go look at it, I don't mind doing the research, but send me the link. You continuously keep typing the same shit. Send the link. I already read your shit, so I'm not gonna read the same thing over and over again.
Listen, was there anything in the syringe? It was inert. There was nothing poisonous. There was no pepper spray. There was nothing in the syringe.
I'm asking you why you think he's going to jail for this.
He sprays her with the syringe in the chest. She goes after him. If you're afraid of somebody spraying you with a chemical agent, you're not going to pursue them. He resisted not one bit.
Exactly.
He goes to the ground. She said
exactly. So I'm not going to look it up because, again, you don't have the link to show me. If you have a link, put it in the chat. But if you don't have a link, I'm not going to sit here and listen to you just because you said it, my guy or my girl, whatever you are, or whatever you describe yourself as, right? So, again, you just talking just to be talking. If you can't provide a link, then shut the fuck up.
Yes.
So you don't believe it, do you, Brandon? You don't believe it?
I don't think that this was, I think this was staged. I don't know if it was true or not.
Can I ask a question here? Can I ask a question? Okay. What if Alex Preddy had sprayed a liquid onto this ICE officer? Would you have, Brandon, would you have said that there was no threat at all?
Aggravated. It'd be aggravated assault.
And you would have supported executing him.
No,
and just like you would have supported.
No, that wouldn't have been justification. That wouldn't have been justification for the ICE agent to react. But merely holding a phone, merely holding.
Bad niggas, like, bro. Why do you have to announce? Listen, let me jump in real quick. I don't care about you announcing your exit. I don't care. I'm not begging you to be here. If you want to be here, cool. You can disagree with me all day. That's fine. But if you're going to leave. I don't care. Like, it says, what they gonna do? What they gonna do to me? How does that affect me in any kind of way? Where does that affect me? If you continuously keep saying something in the chat and you want me to acknowledge it, put the link. If you don't have a link to provide and you just want to continue to keep talking, then just keep talking in the chat and I won't acknowledge it. But bruh, y'all crazy as fuck. We're gonna continue to keep growing. This platform is gonna continue to keep building. It's gonna continue to keep growing. All right. So whether you're here or not, don't matter. Go on about your business.
Using a phone is justification to react.
Who said that it's justified for somebody to spray something? We're talking about a specific incident where a man had a gun. They had a reason to believe that he was armed and
he had a gun in his holster. He was holding a phone. He was holding a phone.
Can we talk about masculinity for a second, Piers? I'd like to talk about masculinity for a second.
On him.
I would too. I would too.
Did he not have a gun on? Have you ever done law enforcement? Any one of you emasculated men on a thing? Have you ever done law enforcement?
Have you Brandon, I can field this one for you. I'm happy to take this. Thank you for that.
Why are they emasculated?
Have you ever had to use force and make a split-second decision?
Apparently, Piers, we're emasculated because we're not bootlickers for ICE agents who want to kill somebody.
Well, you can judge
apparently we're emasculated because we're not in support of six guys jumping on and murdering.
You guys have literally sold past half of our inventory in pre-order.
We're emasculated because we're not bootlickers for ICE agents who want to kill somebody.
Well, you can judge
apparently we're emasculated because we're not in support of six guys jumping on and murdering a nurse.
There's a use of force.
You're a real man, Brandon. Hey, Brandon, you're a real man. You can defend six full-grown men unloading a clip into a nurse.
Hang on, please. Hang on. We can't hear you when you all talk. When you all talk at once, nobody hears any of you. Tim.
Yeah. So I have a couple of things on this question of whether I've been an officer. This appeal to authority. I haven't, but you know who has? The chief of police of Minneapolis.
The
chief of police of Minneapolis. Excuse me, Brandon. Let me finish talking. The chief of police of Minneapolis gave a press conference.
Shot Freddie.
Brandon, let him talk.
Well, actually, that's a good point. We actually don't know the man who shot Freddie because the federal government is hiding him, so we don't know who killed their own citizens yet.
Isn't he?
But we know that the chief of police of Minneapolis gave a press conference after the shooting of Freddie, where he talked about how the judgment was irresponsible and how his police officers, every single police officer in the entire city of Minneapolis, shot 0 bullets last year. They encountered real criminals. Excuse me, let me finish. They encountered real criminals, not soy boy protesters like Alex Freddie. They encountered actual criminals. They encountered murderers, rapists,
use of force scenarios,
assault. Yeah, they did. They encountered those people. They were armed.
How many?
They disarmed 1,000, according to the chief of police of Minneapolis. They disarmed 1,000. They disarmed 1,000 people last year without firing a single bullet. These morons fired 10 bullets. And this whole thing about this definition of masculinity. Okay, it's like the tough guys are the six masked goons pushing down a woman, pushing down a protester, and then getting scared. Oh, they saw a gun.
Well, let's get that correct. It wasn't 6 men that pushed down a woman. It was only 1 man that pushed down the woman. Just for clarification, because he just saying a whole bunch of shit, and a lot of people gonna bypass that. No, it was only one. It was only one person that pushed that woman down.
And I got so scared, and I've got to shoot my bullet. Boom, 10 times. I'm so scared. I got to shoot my bullet. Those are the masculine men? No, I'm sorry. The masculine guy was the guy standing up for the woman, doing what men should do, standing up for the woman that got pushed down, and then in exchange for his bravery, a bunch of shot him dead and unloaded 6 bullets into his dead body while he was laying on the ground. That's what happened. Those are the emasculated men. And I wish we had more men like Alex Preddy, but unfortunately he's dead.
Okay. Let me bring it. Hang on.
You never arrested anybody. You never carry a gun. You probably don't have a gun on you now. Quit acting like you bold to break. If you in a scenario,
think it's cool to just shoot people,
do you have a gun on you
all the time? I'm concerned about your weapon. I'm a little concerned about your weapon based on your judgment and how big of a wuss you are.
I was a police officer.
Brandon,
how many people did you kill?
Brandon,
how many people you kill?
If I may, if I may, Brandon, you don't have to be packing a gun to be a real man. I don't have a gun.
Say that.
Most people in my country
said that. The wussy said that. I'm saying that in order for you to judge a man who's making a life or death decision,
who's that?
Exactly, Ted Coach. Exactly, Ted Coach. A lot of these individuals who are sitting out here talking about. That's why it was a great question when Brandon Tatum asked him, "How many of y'all have been in that situation?" None of y'all have been in that situation before. Y'all, it's always the ones who've never been in that situation before who cannot understand it at all. Oh, but where's your humility, man? Where's your humility, man? You never been in a situation before. You've never been in a life-threatening situation before. You've never been in a hostile situation before. You never have. Let alone you probably never been in a fist fight before. So that's probably why you don't even know how to react. That's why you can only react in one way. You can't see things from two sides. You only see it from one. Oh, you just executed him. Really?
In order for you to judge another man who's making a life and death situation, it would behoove of you or have any wisdom to be in a situation like that. I've been in a situation where I had to choose whether or not I had to shoot a person or not based on use of force policy and the threat of bodily injury or death.
Did you do it?
You have never done that. So it is weird for you to try to judge a person who's in that split-second decision when you don't even carry a gun. So how about you go on a ride along and do some training?
It's pretty easy to judge,
and maybe you'll have a better perspective.
I want to play a clip of Jimmy Kimmel last night.
So hold up. So Jay Gator. So did you also see when Alex Pretty was the one that was kicking the federal agent's vehicle, assaulting a federal agent's vehicle? Did you also see that too? You don't call that hostile? You don't call that hostile? And then spitting on the federal agent, you don't call that hostile? If somebody spit on you, 7 Gator, what would you do? If somebody came in your vehicle and the vehicle that you had to earn your W-2 on, you ain't getting paid by Trump. You gotta go to work. You gotta work your ass off for your job. And somebody come and kick the shit out your brake light. Kick that bitch loose. What you gonna do? You gonna continue to keep driving? What you gonna do? Mind you, you can't really do much because you ain't no federal agent. That's one. And then, mind you, you get out the car and say, "What the fuck, man? Why the fuck did you kick my brake light?" And then they spit on you. What you gonna do if they spit on you? What you gonna do? What then will you do, huh, 7 Gator? Since you're so morally higher than everybody, what would you do? Have you ever been in a fight before, 7 Gator? What would you do in a situation where you got agitators, where you got people who want to actually harm you, people who have a disdain for you on every level? What would you do? What would you do? Just tell me what you would do. What would you do? Because I know one thing's for sure. You spit on me, it's up. That's one thing's for sure. You spit on me, it's up. And I ain't got to be a federal agent. I ain't playing tough. I ain't playing gangster. I ain't none of that. But one thing I do know is respect. That's probably the most disrespectful thing you can do is spit on someone. That's the most disrespectful thing you can do. And this happened before Alex Pretty was unalive. So what are we talking about? Oh, it's funny they say AD and CH should have fought when CH got in his Facebook when this guy bossed up and found out all this. Exactly, bro. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And then CH, and then mind you, then video shows when somebody says something crazy to CH, then he was the one that decided to strike. He had all the opportunity to strike in front of AD, but yeah, guess what happened? He didn't do nothing. So you see what I'm saying? Like, man, these some hypocritical people, bro. That's what I don't like.
People of Minneapolis, the Preddy family and the Good family.
Ryan, you got it.
And these people who were looking out for their neighbors. We want you to know that we are with you and you are not alone.
Now, Brian, apart from the fact that Jimmy Kimmel really needs to stop crying, I just wanted to say that as a general blanket observation that barely a week goes by when he's not blubbing like a baby about something. I'm not saying he doesn't care. I'm just saying that it's getting a bit weary for me. But also, I don't remember him crying when Barack Obama was president. There's a clip doing the rounds today of Obama talking in really tough language about his own deportation record and why it was so important. He deported over 3 million people. No liberal friends of mine gave a damn or knew how many people he was deporting. He was putting kids in cages, separating them from their families, all the stuff that people chuck at Trump. But it was never an issue throughout those 8 years. He was the biggest deporter of people in the history of the United States in terms of pro rata per year as a president. So there's been a massive double standard there. And I can't help but think that one of the reasons is the liberal skewed media, which it is. I've worked in it. You could shoot a harpoon around the old CNN newsroom when I was there and not hit a conservative voter. That they just didn't care because it was their guy. And what happens this time, because everyone hates Trump on the left and the media collectively hate Trump. So they fire everything up. Then it becomes a huge thing. Then you have people going out in the streets and protesting because they've been whipped up by the media. Then you have these altercations with ICE. Then you have deadly altercations. And we're in the position we're now in. I'm not saying they're to blame, but I'm saying that part of what we're seeing here is something that never happened in the Obama years about this kind of issue of deporting illegal immigrants, because nobody cared. And my question for you is, all right, we can have Jimmy Kimmel blubbing on TV about it because he cares so much. Why didn't he care the same way when Obama was doing this? And did you care? And did you speak out about Obama's deportation record? Or do you accept that Obama pretty much shared Trump's view, which is actually, if you're in the country illegally, then you should probably be deported because there are millions of people trying to become legally immigrants to the United States. And there are hundreds of millions who've come to the country over the last century who did it the right way.
Look, I can't speak to what my thoughts were during the Obama administration. I was in college, so I wasn't really paying that much attention to politics. But I would say in general, look, I am in favor of immigration. I think it's better for the economy. I also recognize that immigrants, if we've heard so much about crime, illegal? Immigrants commit crime at lower rates than native-born Americans. So this isn't about stopping crime, because if this was about stopping crime, our law enforcement agencies would focus on the people who are actually committing it, certainly committing it at higher numbers, but they won't, because this is not about crime. It's just some flimsy pretext that people use to be able to justify this.
They're not always able to find people who are illegally in this country that commit crimes. When they have a crime committal stat, it's because they've been able to find the person and prosecute the person to some degree. People that are illegally in this country have no identity. They commit crimes with with complete impunity. So
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. This idea that they have an identity.
Wait a minute.
Do you think illegal and legal immigration are the same?
Look, of course they're not the same. Of course they're not the same. The reality is that
do you accept both, or do you believe in one or the other?
But they all get treated the same.
Well, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Just for starters,
you don't know what that means?
The same.
If I could just say really quick 2 things on this point. Number one, right now they're deporting actually people that came the right way. They're reporting people that came here as asylees or refugees, and they're sending them back, even though they've been going through the legal process. Excuse me, can I just finish? They are asylum seekers. They came across the border illegally. They showed up to a port of entry and they volunteered. They've been going to their checkups with ICE, waiting for their court date, and they're deporting those people. So that, excuse me, just really quick. So those aren't illegal immigrants that are being deported. They're people that have done the right thing. They're being deported. And in fact, lastly, can you just let me say one other thing?
Other than those people.
Can I say one other thing?
20 million.
I just want to say one other thing before you respond. When you talk about illegal immigrant crime, I do have one pretty easy stat to point to. So far this year in Minnesota, illegal immigrants have killed 0 people. The ICE agents have killed 2. So 2 American citizens have been killed by ICE, 0 by illegal immigrants. So that's the current crime stats in Minnesota.
Kick out ICE and bring in illegal immigrants. Okay.
20 million is crazy.
Well, kick out the murderers, I would say. I actually want to kick out the murderers. No, great. I want to kick out the murderers. The illegal immigrant murderers, get the hell out. The guy that killed Laken Riley, get the hell out. By the way, the guy that killed Alex Preddy, you get the prison as well. How about that? We get rid of all the killers.
If he's unjustified in his use of force,
God, you're manning up there.
Let me ask Brandon. Let me ask
look
Brandon.
At what Jacob Fry is, look at what Jacob Fry has done in Minneapolis.
If I can say one thing,
hang on, please.
There was a
Minnesota.
Hang on, please, guys. Let me try and moderate the panel,
criteria, not the hysterics.
Let me moderate the panel.
I gave you a stat.
Brandon, do you think there's a lot of hypocrisy given that Obama deported 3 million people and was very strong in his rhetoric, as indeed Bill and Hillary Clinton were? The clips are everywhere, right? They all basically agree about the problem.
I'm for that, Piers. This is the question about hypocrisy. It's a question about killing American citizens.
I literally lost my mind.
Deporting criminals is fine.
When I went back and listened to what Barack Obama said. What Barack Obama said about not coming to America, you would go to the back of the line. You didn't do it the right way. We're gonna catch you and we're gonna kick you out of our country. Everybody should be in lockstep with that. If you came here legally, we love you.
But they are coming here legally. Liam Ramos, a 5-year-old boy, who was wearing a 5-year-old boy who was wearing a Spider-Man backpack.
Let me show y'all something real quick, and we're gonna get back to the video. I want to show y'all something. Washington U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement announced the arrest of the worst criminal aliens across the country, including those convicted of first-degree rape of a child, homicide, and arson. Our ICE law enforcement put their lives on the line every single day to arrest the worst of the worst criminal illegal aliens. Yesterday's arrest included child rapists, murderers, and arsonists, said Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. What the media and sanctuary politicians do not want the American public to know is 70% of ICE arrests are of criminal illegal aliens charged or convicted of a crime in the U.S., despite comparisons to the Gestapo and an 8,000% increase in death threats. Our officers show up every day and arrest heinous criminals from American communities. Yesterday's arrest, Eduardo Salgado Martinez, a criminal illegal alien from Mexico, convicted of first-degree rape of a child in Benton County, Washington. Furman Flores, I don't know how to say that last name, a criminal illegal alien from Mexico, convicted of rape in New York. Oh, he's not Mexico. He last name Tuan Pham, a criminal illegal alien from Vietnam, convicted of homicide, conspiracy, vehicle theft, and receiving stolen property in San Diego, California. Miguel Molino, I don't know how to say the last name, a criminal illegal alien from El Salvador, convicted of arson in Queens, New York. Everardo Javier Sanchez Rivera, a criminal illegal alien from Mexico, convicted of burglary of habitation in Horace County, Texas. Interesting. No, just Benton County. Benton County. No, it was Harris. Harris County, bro. Harris. Is my connection messing up, y'all? Can y'all hear it? Y'all can hear the video? Let me hold on. Let me give me a second. Let me refresh it. Give me a second. Give me a second, y'all. How about now? Can you guys hear it now? Can you hear it? Can y'all hear it now, or are we good? before I continue to keep playing it. Okay, Rob, I got you. But anyway, is it good or are we? No, it's not good. Okay. All right, hold on. Give me a second. Let me refresh my shit. Hold on. All right. How about now? How about now? We good? We good now? How we feeling? We good now? We good?
Creates.
Y'all can't hear me? What? What do you mean you can't hear me?
Deportation out of their processes and tries to get them out of the country anyway.
Okay. Are you done?
Brandon.
Okay. I want people to be very clear about this. You can come through the country without going through a port of entry. You're illegally in this country. You can come through a port of entry and your asylum claim gets denied, and you're also illegal in this country. So two things can be true at the same time. They did not use a 5-year-old to lure this guy. They already had an arrest warrant for him. He got arrested. He fled from them, leaving his child behind. They had to take the child into some type of custody for his safety. The family refused to take the kid into the house. They refused to take the kid back from the facility. So ICE had no choice but to have.
Let me rewind back because I know y'all missed a little bit. I'm gonna rewind it back a little bit so y'all can catch up what they're talking about. Because they pause in the critical part of it.
Through a port of entry, you're illegally in this country. You can come through a port of entry and your asylum claim gets denied, and you're also illegal in this country. So two things can be true at the same time. They did not use a 5-year-old to lure this guy. They already had an arrest warrant for him. He got arrested. He fled from them, leaving his child behind. They had to take the child into some type of custody for his safety. The family refused to take the kid into the house. They refused to take the kid back from the facility. So ICE had no choice but to have this kid in a safe environment because his dad did not care enough about him to take care of him. You guys are using a 5-year-old for your immigration. It is not true that they lured that man. Listen, why can't we all on this panel say legal immigration is good? If you come here illegally, you are broken the law and you have to be deported. Why are we against deportation of illegal immigrants? The two people in the middle make sense.
No, I'm not, man. No. What are you
Pierce,
talking
I'd like
about,
to get
man?
in here real quick.
You don't
on the
let me talk,
issue.
but I'm for it. I'm for deport. Start with the worst of the worst.
Then why not?
If people
why
are
not
here, legal
encourage
deport them?
Minnesota to cooperate with ICE?
Because ICE isn't going after illegal immigrants. How hard do I have to say this? I agree with. Could I finish? I can answer your question if you want.
So they're trying to leave the illegals in and deport the legal ones. Well, why not? Why not have Minnesota give up the illegal immigrants that are in their jails? Why aren't you in favor of that? Or maybe you are in favor of that. I don't know.
They're doing that.
Huh?
The Minnesota Department of Corrections is working with
that is a sleight of hand. That is not. That is factually untrue. You can spaz out or do whatever you do, but that's not true. The jails are not turning people over, and that's the vast majority of people arrested. The prison system is, and that's the sleight of hand that Tim Walz is using there. But the jails are not, and that's factually true.
I know,
they
right?
would even admit it. Tim Walz
none of it. Okay,
Can I
man.
and
you can spaz out and do your little shtick.
I'm just trying to reply.
But I think the other issue. All right, go ahead and reply, Tim.
Look, I am with you. Criminal aliens should be handed over to federal ICE agents or federal CPB. I'm with you on that. Here's okay. And so if you have excuse me, if you could you let me finish? And if you have a critique about the way that Hennepin County in Minneapolis is handling that is a fair critique, and that is fine. And we could talk about that policy and what the right policy is. I'm also for deporting people that came here illegally. What ICE is doing in Minneapolis is far beyond that remit. They are going after people that have asylum claims that have not been adjudicated. They're going after protesters. They're going after American citizens. They've jailed American citizens. They're going into neighborhoods. They're bullying people. They're pushing people, and they're murdering people. So if your issue is let's deal with Hennepin County prisons and figure out how to work better with them, then you don't need to murder American citizens to achieve that goal. And so we can agree on that. I wish you could agree that the American citizens should be shot dead.
Let me bring in Brandon.
More issues.
Let me bring in Brandon. Let me bring in Brandon, because I want to bring in just an update from Polymarket about Kristi Noem. It's quite interesting. We're following the prediction markets on
let me ask y'all a question.
The subject of who.
Do y'all think it was a good idea to get Kristi Noem out of there and bring in Tom Homan? Do y'all think that Kristi Noem was doing the job properly? Piers Morgan, the man is known to be constantly interrupting, but now he is sitting most quietly. Yeah, he got better. I'm pretty sure he's been watching the comments. He's been watching the comments, telling him to stop interrupting so much, because even though that's his show, you know what I'm saying? They be like, hey, bro, if you're gonna be a moderator, but you ain't got to continue to keep interrupting all the time. So, yeah,
will be the first to leave Trump's cabinet. Almost uniquely. He's a year in and hasn't fired anyone from his cabinet yet. Polymarket has a $1.5 million market open. A lot of activity. As we speak, Kristi Noem is at 39%.
So Kristi Noem, 38%. Pam Bondi, 20%. Well, 21%. None before. 10%. Pete Hegseth, 5%. Ooh, wee. So they saying that they about to get Kristi Noem about that bit. You hear me? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought she was a nice one. Listen, Kristi Noem said, I'm not playing with y'all, dog. I got you, Jermaine.
Sent to be that first member of Trump's cabinet to be fired. She was just at 13% before the 2 deaths in Minneapolis.
Yeah,
I mean, Brandon,
I appreciate you, big dog. I appreciate you.
She's on the way out. Is she going to be the first casualty of Trump's cabinet?
I don't know. I think Trump is very loyal to the people that are in his cabinet right now. That's why he hasn't fired anybody so far. But I do think that she's becoming incredibly unpopular on the Republican side. Now, I don't necessarily agree or disagree with it. I don't pay attention to what she's saying. I don't care unless people are getting arrested and they're doing their job. But I do believe if she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing, if she's doing things illegitimately and it's not working on behalf of the country, get her sorry self out of there. And I believe that with anybody that's in the cabinet. I don't owe no loyalty to none of y'all. If you don't do your job, you need to get fired. And so if there's a fair evaluation of Kristi Noem and what she's doing and not doing, and if she's not doing what's right for the American people and she's committing fraudulent behavior, fire her. I think we all understand it. Can I give you the Border Patrol response real quick? Law enforcement and Border Patrol connection, because I worked in law enforcement in Tucson, which is a border state, and we work well with Border Patrol and ICE. And there's a big difference when you arrest somebody and they are illegally in this country. Now, local law enforcement do not have jurisdiction to arrest them for their federal crimes, but we do take them to the jail and we put them on what we call an ICE hold. Therefore, they cannot leave the jail facility even when they're done serving for their city crime or their state crime. The ICE agents will come and verify them and take them. That keeps the community way safer because ICE does not have to go into the community. When you force ICE to go into the community and then you have idiots harassing them, doxing them, throwing stuff at them, blockading their vehicles, you create an unduly risk. This is why ICE is patrolled, or even Border Patrol and their assistance with ICE around the entire country. And you don't see people getting shot and hardly anywhere else. You would say 99.9% of the shootings
Zero
are
is
in
the
Minnesota.
goal.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
You do see people getting harassed in other places, actually.
Man said 0 is the goal, as if that was going to do anything. Do we know that we live in a world that nothing is absolute? Things are gonna happen. Situations pop off. But see, the fact of the matter is, we just read some information in regards to 70%. 70%. That's the overwhelming majority of these illegal criminals who actually getting caught up by ICE. The overwhelming majority. And this man said 0 is the goal. Yes, of course, we would love to be at 0, but we understand that nothing is absolute either. They just be saying stupid shit, bro.
Not just Minnesota.
Because
Minnesota's just the only place they've murdered anyone so far. But they've harassed people. They jailed citizens in California. They shot people in Chicago.
Give me the murder numbers. Give me the people who have been murdered by ICE, and then you tell me where they were murdered
this year.
Where
there have been 2 people murdered by ICE in Minneapolis so far. And then
one city.
Renee Good and Alex Renee, and then they shot a guy in Chicago, a gal in Chicago.
Patrol agent. No, Renee hit an ICE agent with her car. She got shot. This guy came and confronted and physically assaulted and had physical contact with a firearm.
I can't do any more of this apology after
you don't have to do anything.
You can't do whatever.
And this is where you already know where the rage quit comes in, because you don't have any evidence to back you, because you're just trying to use one little argument and basically saying, look, when I prove this to you, okay, bet you got hit by a vehicle. You telling me that if somebody hit you with a vehicle, you ain't supposed to do nothing? You get hit by if somebody's coming at you with a vehicle, no matter. I played a video on Instagram, right? And there was another situation. This time it was police officers, and there was somebody who was literally backing their car up trying to hit 2 police officers. One of the men actually got hit. One of them actually got hit, so they let the lead off into that vehicle. What you mean? Y'all act as if a vehicle can't be used as a deadly weapon. What are you talking about? You think you get to talk shit and then try to hit me with a vehicle? You think I ain't finna let off some rounds in you? Man, you better watch out.
Well, man, but do not smear dead people.
If this guy goes to jail for shooting Pretty, let's do a
shameful. What you're doing is shameful. You should be ashamed.
I actually think it's.
I'm not mad. You should repent.
You don't understand the
law. I think what Brandon is doing. I think what Brandon is doing is actually. I think what Brandon is doing is actually pretty instructive, because the reality is that everybody saw the video. Like 85% of Americans saw this video. More Americans saw this video. Brandon, just chill out.
Marlene, if you watched the video, which video did you watch? Did you watch the video from the actual officer's own point of view? Did you see the cam version where you actually hear where he got hit at? Did you see it? Did you see that? Did you see it? Exactly. I'm pretty sure you didn't see it. Exactly. You only saw one part of it, but when you actually get the video footage from the officer's point of view, you wouldn't be talking as much. Thank you. You may exit.
So what they're going to be judged by?
Control yourself. Brendan, try to control yourself.
No, how about you listen?
Try to control yourself. Try. Just try like 2 seconds to not talk.
Give me the law. Give me the law that he's going to be prosecuted under.
Brandon, 2 seconds, man.
Give me the law he's going to be prosecuted under.
This isn't a good testament for how law enforcement officials are able to control themselves.
Shame and
The reality is the vast majority of Americans,
like you don't know the law.
Brandon, just shut up for like 2 seconds.
Where's the law?
The vast majority of Americans saw this video. We know what we saw with our own eyes. Even conservatives, even independents know that what ICE was doing was completely unjustified. That he was holding his cell phone and was bombarded by 6 grown men who shot him dead. And the fact that you're standing up here, Brandon, just shut the fuck up for 2 seconds. The fact that you can sit up here and claim
you talking tough work with me, buddy. Give me the law.
What are you going to do? Shoot him 10 times? Shoot him in the back of the head?
This whole time, you're cosplaying as a tough guy. Well, you for 6 grown men who jumped on a nurse and shot him dead. This is not the tough position. You are defending. Being a is not a tough position, my dude. Being a for a bunch of grown men who killed a nurse who was helping.
Do y'all see? Listen. Do y'all see the difference in the two? Right? Now, Officer Tatum, he's going to interrupt them. They're having a conversation, right? But you see the frustration in the guy that's talking and the other guy with the headphones on, with the old Apple headphones. Do you see the frustration in them? Do you see the frustration? You see how he got off his square. You see how, can you just shut the fuck up? Can you just shut the fuck up? Can you see, this is what happens. You see that? You see that? They got so much rage inside their spirit. They got that monkey on their back. They got them demons on their back. That's why they get so mad. That's why they're so mad at Trump. That's why they're so mad at a lot of Republicans. Not saying that all Republicans are good. Let me be clear about that. There are a lot of Republicans that are shitbags. 110%. I will 110% agree with that. I don't always agree with everything. I can be objective when I see things, but also I also understand, like, all right, listen, y'all bugging, y'all doing a little bit too much. Okay, I see y'all got outrage over here. Why don't y'all have the same outrage over here on this side? But look at him. Look at the frustration in the spirit. One of them, he wanted to rage quit. He was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. When they don't have anything to back their evidence up or anything that they say, because they just blurt out any kind of bullshit, you know, kind of like Seven Gator was doing. But I'm like, hey, but where's the link? Send me the link so I can go look at it. You know, actually opening the door so we can go actually look at this in real time. But, you know, because she got so defensive in what we were talking about, I said, hey, send me the link so we can go look at it. And I would have pulled it up too. We would have read it. And if I would have been wrong, I would have said, you know what? I'm wrong. I'm 110% wrong. But hey, it be what it is. That's what happened when you get people in their emotions.
A woman is not in the position that you think it is.
Gentlemen,
what law?
Gentlemen,
where is he going to be
can I
charged
just say, gentlemen?
Okay,
gentlemen,
okay,
I had hip surgery a week ago. And can I just say, it flared up at the start of this debate.
You just
carried on flaring ever since.
That's the thing.
And the only thing I can put it down to is that you lot have shouted at each other now for 45 minutes without drawing breath. And I owe it to my new hip to call an end to proceedings. But thank you all very much.
Yes. Shout out to that boy, Brandon Tatum. Shout out to Brandon Tatum. He said, I'm kicking down the dough. I'm not playing with none of y'all. I'm not playing with none of y'all Democrats. I'm letting y'all know what it is. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, and make sure you hit the bell notification.